What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Deep Drive. My name is Zach. This is my co host, Austin.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into today's episode. We got a lot in store for you today, and we can't wait to get into it.
We got a lovely special guest. We're excited to introduce you guys, and we're gonna have a nice Q&A. We might do some fun stuff with him today, guys. You're gonna really enjoy this episode.
So, as we talked about last time, we're mainly going to be a sports podcast, but every once in a while, when we have a guest on, we are going to go away from sports, but we're still going to talk about sports. We're still going to do what our bread and butter is, but it's going to be a little bit shorter, like today's episode. Today's sports segment's going to be a little bit shorter. We're not going to really recap the games like we did last week. We're really just going to make some predictions and what we think is going to happen this week for Championship Sunday, as we are recording this on the 25th, about 4 days until the games, I
Yeah,
think.
about 3 to 4 games before the actual game starts, so we can get the prediction out of the way, so then we can give our recap on the next episode we do, because
Yeah,
we gotta talk about football, man. Playoff football is an exciting time for sure.
exactly. I mean, it's one of the best times of the year. I think that's probably one of the best times of playoffs. Baseball rivals it, but playoff football, there's nothing you can beat it, man.
Like I would even say, and this is coming from somebody who really adores baseball, grew up in it a lot. I say playoff football is way more exciting to a lot of more sports fan than even like the postseason in baseball. Because even so, a lot of people won't usually tune in until the World Series hits. Anyway, not many people will go to like tune in for like baseball wild card stuff. Once playoff football hits, everybody is just like, it's time, baby. It's time to have some good old fashioned football.
Exactly. I mean, playoff football. You're getting closer to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl parties. Everybody's getting ready to have that. I mean, it's the most watched sports game of the year for a reason, and it's honestly being so close. It saddens me that we're this close to the end of football season, but we're getting so close to the Super Bowl, and then we get into the off season. That's going to even be more fun. Football never ends, and we're going to show it.
Just think we're literally getting to almost toward the peak. We might even be at the peak right now of exciting football right now. Yes, after that Super Bowl, it's going to kind of go down a bit, but like I said, this is the time to take it in and enjoy every single moment you can get, because
Yeah.
this is what makes football so much special indeed.
Exactly. Even at that low point, you're still gonna have free agency, and then we start getting up to the draft, and that's where the hype starts to build up. You have all these players. You think who's going number one? Are the Bears gonna draft a quarterback? Are the Bears gonna draft Marvin Harrison Jr.? Are they gonna trade
Are
away
they going to
Justin
trade?
Fields?
Yeah, are they even going to trade the pick? They might even. We don't even know if they're
Yeah,
going to keep the pick at this
could
point.
trade the pick away for the second straight
Second,
year. It's
second straight
insane.
year.
And I
It's
do
gonna be
want to clear
insane.
something up. We all know that his little plush thing in the back is named Yoshi. Obviously, it's Yoshi. This is Joey. He's named after Joe Burrow. So, just want to clear that up. This is Joey, everybody. He's an otter. He's swagged out, and he's awesome.
Joey is pretty awesome. That's for sure.
So, all right, well, let's get into some predictions. The Ravens
Yeah,
Chiefs. This, I think, is going to be a fun game. I think this is going to be a little bit more entertaining than the Lions 49ers game. Um,
I agree with that. Yeah.
Lamar versus Patrick Mahomes. It's a really good Chiefs defense versus a really good Ravens defense. A
It's gonna
subpar.
be
I do think the Chiefs offense gets it going a little bit, but I don't think they have enough to beat Lamar and the Ravens. I have this official prediction at Ravens 31, Chiefs 28. Ravens are going to the Super Bowl for the first time, and I think over 10 years, something like that. And
I, I
it's
I think it's around that. Yeah, it might be a bit more. I'd have to double check. I'm not even 100% sure. It's gonna be interesting. I honestly think with this one, I feel like we're going to see a lot more defensive ball than we will offensive. I'm not too sure if we'll have that high of a score. I can see it happening, but the way, especially these past games we've seen from both these teams, like defense in the playoffs, I can expect both to not only be on the best game of their life, but honestly kind of like bring it to the other team, being like, "Hey, we're gonna basically stop you like from doing anything early and on," kind of like almost like what the Ravens did against the Texans. They held them to 10 points that entire game, and one of them was a punt return. So
yeah.
it's going to be interesting. For I would say for I had to think of the score one. I do have the Ravens over the Chiefs. I do believe Lamar will definitely ball out again. I feel like something. is happening with him this year that is really kind of like proving that he can basically play no matter what month it is, and he can run and throw. He's the dual threat that every quarterback wants to be at the end.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Baltimore 24, Chiefs 14. That's gonna be
Okay.
my score. That's gonna be my
I like
score.
that.
Not as much on the offensive side, but still teams will have their good drives here and there for sure, for sure.
So moving on to the Lions and the 49ers. This is a game that I think could go either way. You really could have the Lions that could I mean the Lions and the 49ers, two offensive power heavy teams. The 49ers defense is a lot better than the Lions. I'll give them that. Um but I mean, I think at some point the Lions offense is going to take over that game. I mean, you got Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon St. Brown, Jared Goff's on something else right now, and I think that this team just has a little bit more want to them than the 49ers do. This team, the Lions team, I think wants it more than the 49ers. The 49ers remind me not of what they did last year. I think last year they wanted it a lot, but this year it's kind of like, they don't have that kind of same spark now anymore, and I don't see that. That's why, I think Dan Campbell and the Lions are going to come out with this win. I think it's going to be 28-21 Lions. I do think it's going to be a little bit high scoring. Um, but I think Dan Campbell is going to get that game going. Christian McCaffrey's going to be the bulk of the offense there, I think. Um, I think Christian McCaffrey's going to take over that game, but I do think the Lions offense is going to be bigger and stronger against the 49ers defense.
I I had a hard time thinking about what I wanted this outcome to be because everything I would praise about one team, the other team would either have a counter or would do it just as good, maybe even better. But I decided on this. I'm going with the upset. I think the 49ers, as well as I think they still played against Green Bay, a lot of things I thought were a bit shaky at first. They took them a while for them to almost kind of like get their feet moving and everything like that. Brock Purdy did not look comfortable.
And I'll
I
give him
think
this.
that
It
yeah,
was pouring down rain for the first half of the game. I'll give them that. But I
yeah.
mean, if you're trying to go to the Super Bowl, if it's pouring down rain again, what are you gonna do? Continue.
Yeah, it's. I think the Lions had a lot more confidence and a lot more kind of like emphasis on like we are here to bite kneecaps. That's literally the goal of what they're trying to
Knock
do.
us down. We're
They
biting another
they did it.
kneecap off.
They did it to Matthew Stafford reunion. They did it to the Baker and the Bucks. I feel like they can do the exact same thing to the 49ers. This I think there will, and I'm not going to try to like trash no defense. I don't think there will be many defensive highlights in this game. I really don't. I think the Lions are going to be running and throwing the ball as all hearts and sent. I think Christian McCaffrey will also have a really good game with Brock Purdy definitely finding a stride. I have my final score being 31-28
Wow.
Lions.
I
I
like the high scoring.
I I think this game is literally going to be we score, you score, we score, you score. And I usually don't like because I think this is also kind of cheesy when you try to like predict a game that a game would win on a like game winning field goal. I feel like especially this is the championship, I feel like if we get a game winning like field goal in overtime to send your team to the Super Bowl, that's a good game right there. You could win basically almost kind of like walk off kind of style. So
Yeah.
I do have the Lions arguably upsetting the 49ers, and I think
And
we will
I
see
think
them in the Super Bowl.
like we both said, I think the Lions have more of the momentum right now in this game. They are they are out for blood. And it's not like, everyone can say what they want about their defense. Their defense has given up a lot of yards in the past couple games, but their offense, once they get clicking, and you could see it in the fourth quarter of the Bucks game. We're doing kind of like a mini recap, but you could see it in the fourth quarter, in the third, even the start to the end of the third quarter in the Bucks game, that their offense really got going against a Bucks defense that I think is arguably better right now, playing better right now than the 49ers. Like the Bucks, say what you want about the Eagles. The Eagles are still a powerful team, and to be able to shut that team down and then to shut a few of the other teams down that they did towards the end of the season, it's it's crazy, and I do think that the Lions are going to be able to take advantage of the 49ers defense, and I think that Aiden Hutchinson is going to be able to take advantage of Brock Purdy's mishaps and stuff, and I do think they are going to make it to where he's not as comfortable. And with me, I think the 49ers pass rush is going to have a hard time getting to Jared Goff, and Jared Goff's going to get comfortable and he's going to get going, and the Lions are going to win this on the way to the Super Bowl. I think that Dan Campbell just has something going with this team, and they're like the Bengals a couple years ago, where you could tell something was up when they were playing.
For sure. If you're a fan of the Lions, what a time to be a fan. If you're a fan of just high energy football, what a time to be a fan. If you're like me, if you're a Bears fan, you are shaking anytime down the stretch. You're like, oh, you get to play the Lions. Like, mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
But good for them. They have I would even say they have a super team right now. I definitely see them
Yeah.
winning this game and heading to the Super Bowl 100%.
And, like you said, to be a Lions fan, um, tonight I got to go to dinner with my dad. He's a big Lions fan. He's been a Lions fan for his entire life, born in Michigan. And getting to talk to him about the game and seeing how happy he was to see that the Lions are finally winning. Like, even though he told me he broke his remote on his wall the other night, when they played the Rams, because the Rams almost came back. He's like, I broke my remote on the wall. I was so scared. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, the Lions are, they're finally good, and I think the Lions are back. Um, Not back, they're here. And I think if Dan Campbell can win this game, he's going to cement himself as the best Lions coach in the world. And I think if Jared Goff wins this game, I think he becomes more. I'm trying to think of the word. Like, he's going to mean more to Detroit than Matthew Stafford did, because he's going to be taking them farther than Matthew Stafford ever
It's
did.
it's a lot, and I'll give Stafford credit for what he did with that Lions team through all the highs and lows that team had when he was with them. The dude still put up a lot, and I think this would be kind of a good for both Stafford and Goff, because you got to think both of them in Detroit and in LA, they trade each other, they trade teams basically. If both can end up winning a Super Bowl with the other QB, it's kind of like a feel good story for both, because both basically got what they wanted.
Yeah,
Both Lions fans got to win a Super Bowl, and they got to see Stafford win a Super Bowl. Same thing with Rams. Rams got to win a Super Bowl. They got to see, uh, and if the Lions win this year, they would see Jared Goff also win a Super Bowl.
yeah, and I mean,
It would kind of come like full circle for everybody, so they can be kind of like happy about it.
and good for Jared Goff, because I mean, when he was traded with that trade, he was just kind of like, the piece to be like, okay, we don't need him anymore. He's just not needed anymore. We're just gonna give him to you because he's just gonna help our salary cap if we just throw him into that trade. Screw it, throw him in instead of
He
having
was
him be a backup. Let him go. We think he's already failed. Let him go fail in Detroit now. We got Matthew
he
Stafford. Let him go fail in Detroit.
he was kind of almost like the little cherry on top of that trade. Again, like, yeah, you guys all could get like a quarterback. So if you don't want to, try to draft one, you can at least have somebody who knows what he's doing at least.
Yeah, and I mean, it's
But
worked out in
yeah,
his favor. Both Matthew Stafford went and won a Super Bowl, and I think Jared Goff is gonna get pretty close. And
if if not
the
actually do it.
the Tennessee fan of me is so happy because Hendon Hooker's there with him. And this is a team that I really think could do it. Do I think they make it past the Ravens? I don't know.
No,
It's really going
we
to
don't
depend
know.
on how the Lions look this week.
We got to watch football this week, and then we'll have 2 weeks to basically like, this is what we think is gonna happen. This is who we can see winning and why.
All right. Well, I think that's about it for our recap for football this week. I think it's time to get into our guest. Our guest is. Hold on one second. Our guest is, like we said last week, our guest is the 2021 drum major for Seminole High School. He was the Daniel Wood Award winner. He's astounding 6'5". I mean, I look at him and
Almost.
it's
I
he's.
look at him. I go like this.
I've known him for so long. He's a great guy. Our guest today is Jonny Hill. Let's bring him in here.
Yeah, let's get in here, Johnny Hill. Let's go.
How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, Johnny?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, this is
Going
great.
on good, man. Going on good, man. How you doing? What have you been up to lately, man?
Yeah, it's been chilling. Yeah, just going to SBC. Yeah,
For those
SBC,
that
very
are not Florida residents, what is SPC?
St. Petersburg College.
Okay. So, Johnny, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who you are, where you work, what you do, what you like doing in your free time. Give us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, my name's Jonny Hill. Yeah, I work at Publix. Yeah, I'm customer service staff over there, and I like everything Disney parks.
Let's go.
everything, everything Disney. Heck yeah,
Yeah,
let's
Would you
go.
say, well, oh, hold on. Do you like everything Disney or just the parks?
generally Disney in general.
Okay. Would you say you're a Disney enthusiast?
Yes, definitely.
Big
Are you a
enthusiast. All right.
Disney adult?
No, I am not a Disney adult.
Not,
Yeah, that is a very, very different thing.
not yet. He still has, he's still kind of on the young age.
Yeah, he's got a few more years and he'll get there. So, so like you said, you like everything about Disney. Um, you know, for those of you, for those of us that don't know, you worked for Disney for a little while.
Yes,
You
yes, I
were
did.
in,
Yeah.
you were in their, what is it called? It's the college. I know it's got a name. It's the college program that they have there.
Yeah. I did the Disney College program, so it's a paid internship. So I got to work at Walt Disney World for about 8 months. Yeah, it was a really great experience, right? I got to work at Disney's Port Orleans Riverside Resort.
And what was it like working for Disney? Like, compared to where you work now at Publix, what was it like working for Disney? Like, was it, as magical as everybody says it is?
Yeah, it was really fun. It was a good work experience. I'm able to put that on my resume now that I've worked for the Walt Disney Company. Like that's pretty cool. Because okay, there were some bad days, right? Just like bad guests and stuff. But overall, it was really fun. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Usually you always have those like bad experiences with like almost
Yeah.
anything you do. What was your probably almost like fondest or like favorite like moment being able to work there? Beside honestly, being able to like see like do all the rides and see like what it's like to actually like be around the park and do stuff that the modern like customers don't get to see a lot. Like just going. What was one thing that was special about being able to in-chirp and kind of like work there?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good question. Yeah, I mean, there's so many like fun like inside jokes that I have like with my Disney friends that I still keep in contact with a few of them. So yeah, those are really fun. Um, yeah, and like just like getting to like go to the parks like on my day off, like that was just really awesome. Yeah.
You,
Um, Go ahead, Austin.
I say, do you get like free like almost kind of like admission or like discounts for like the rides or the park for you being a worker there?
Yeah. So all cast members they all get in for free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it kind of like, did you have like just like a basic pass where like you have blackout dates, or did you just get in no matter what?
Yeah, so at the time, I had to get a reservation for every single time I wanted to go to a park, and like if all the reservations were full, you just can't go, right? And then there were blockout dates on top of those.
So
So
the reservations, was that only for Disney cast members, or was that for everybody? Like,
at the time, it was for everyone because of like the COVID pandemic.
okay,
Like yeah, they just wanted to know like exactly like how many people are going to be in the park like on a certain day. So yeah, so they can do like staffing thing.
okay.
Yeah.
For sure. What was your it's kind of like almost like a simple like kind of like question. What was your favorite like because you were working at cast member? What was your favorite spot? Because I'm guessing as cast members you kind of go from station to station. You work at different spots here and there at Disney. What was your favorite spot to like help work or like help kind of like be at when you're being a cast member and working at Disney? What was that go-to spot for you?
Yeah, yeah, okay, so I worked in food service.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was at the quick service restaurant there at Riverside. It was the Port Orleans Riverside Mill Food Court. Yeah. So the one spot that everybody wanted, it was the mobile order station. Yeah, because it was always really slow. Yeah, because not a lot of people ordered at our mobile order. Yeah, because it wasn't that good.
The
Yeah,
mobile service or just the
the
whole like
food in
process?
general.
Ah, well, that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah. But, like shortly after that, they actually they got a menu change. It was actually really good. It's
so
pretty good now.
so you would say that was your favorite place to work?
Yeah, at the mobile station.
Ah,
Yes,
because it was slow.
yes, because it was slow. Yeah, and they're yeah
It's okay. My favorite days to work at my job are when they're slow. Those are just the best times. If
yeah
you
I feel like
say that you like working in a fast, or like, if you say you like working when it's busy, I don't believe you.
I
yeah.
I will defend people that actually say that if they always worry about they have the argument if they're working at something that's slow and they feel like it feels like it's just going forever.
Oh yeah,
Some people like being a bit more on the busy
Mhm.
side because time will go by faster.
and
So
I'll
it just
notice that.
depends. It'll depend on like the almost like how you like imagine or kind of like view that kind of sort of that view.
Um,
Yeah.
how long were your shifts at Disney? Did they vary, or were you always like consistently getting like 8 hours a day, or like how long? How many
Yeah,
hours a week were you getting to work at Disney? Were you full
I
time or like part
it's
time?
it was a full time job. Yeah. I was working 8 hours a day. For I think like at one point I worked maybe 12 days in a row without a day off.
Huh.
Yeah, it was hard,
What was the
but
latest you ever worked till?
10:30.
Oh, okay, so I mean,
Yeah,
So
that's not bad.
around the closing time of the park, right?
yeah. Yes. The
Basically, so
no,
you have everybody
yeah,
that floods in after the park, they get their little food and then they go. Basically,
yeah.
are you
Pretty
still?
much when yeah. So at my location, pretty much we closed when Magic Kingdom would close.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yes. So if those people hadn't gotten food, we would send them over to the bar next door. Yeah, they had a few small like food options and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, what would you, I do got a question. Now that you've worked for both Disney and Publix, for a certain amount of time, what would you prefer to work for? Like, if you had the choice to work for one, like food service at Disney where you worked, or customer service now for Publix for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
Mm. That's a really hard choice because so like Publix gives me better benefits, right? Right now it's like if I work for Publix for like a long enough period of time, I could get public stock,
Okay.
and that's like the public stock is very valuable. Um, but also Disney, like I really enjoyed working there. But I have to go with Publix right now.
Okay. Even with the free pass to Disney and everything, you still have to go
Yeah,
with Publix.
I
I
I, I
understand
just
that.
I have to side with Publix right now. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of like get, especially when it's harder when you do like the one that will help you kind of not only like financially but for your future versus
Mhm.
the one that's like the more kind of like exciting, brings out the almost kid in you kind of sort of thing.
Yeah.
It does kind of way, but I can understand the whole like you got to think about for like the future kind of side. Like this will help me like in the long run, kind of
Yeah.
sort. If I can only work here, kind of sort of thing. I do kind of want to bit like transition from the Disney side. You were the drum major for Seminole High School's 2021 marching band program. Is that correct?
Yes, I was.
Okay,
So
can you tell? Oh,
real
sorry,
quick,
go.
for those of you who don't know, we were all in marching band together. That's how we know Johnny.
Mhm.
That's how I know Austin. We were in marching band in the same school. For those of you that are not band nerds like us, a drum major is the guy that's up on the podium. He's doing the conducting and everything. He's the guy that
Yeah.
gets to wear the super cool suit, do the super cool salute, and all that jazz. Um, so Austin, I'm gonna let you continue with what you were saying, but I just wanted to give the people that don't know all the band nerd stuff, um, a preview of what that was.
So during your drum majoring year, what would you say was your either your favorite experience or memory for from that year being the drum major?
I mean, just really getting to okay to make a good influence on the incoming generations of like the new students, right? Yeah, just getting to help raise them up and make them like learn all the new stuff. It was pretty cool.
Kind of almost
Yeah.
like that big like leader, like almost not even like a leadership, kind of almost like almost like parent figure in a way. Kind of, you're kind of
Yeah,
basically like
yeah, yeah,
helping them
yeah.
kind
Just
of
to,
like
like inspire the next generation of like students to go into the program.
Yeah, and I
that's
think
awesome.
Yeah.
I think I think what you're trying to say, cool. It is also cool because I got to experience that too, being a field commander.
Mhm.
You got to experience. You weren't part of a section. You were part of
Yeah.
the drum majors, so you got to really connect with every single person more than you got to connect with just your section. Like even being a field commander, I got to connect with everybody, but I also got to connect with my section. But you were able to connect with every single person, drumline, guard, all of it.
Mhm.
That was. I'm pretty sure that was really cool for you not being able to be tied to one section. You were able to just connect with every single person and kind of be that leader for everyone.
Yeah, like I really got to get to know everybody in the band like pretty well. Like even like some like people like I didn't know like well like my first 3 years. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's not really like it's a fun question, but it's a more serious question. What was the feeling being up on that podium? When you're marching for 3 years, you always look at the people on the podium and you're like, they can feel the power. They can feel the power of the marching band. They can feel the power. They have the power. What was it feeling being up on that podium? When you were up, because I know, like, even in 2020 when we did the separate shows, you got to conduct some of both of them.
Mhm.
How did it feel to like be up on that podium, hearing the band? Could you feel the power?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like I could feel like the power coming from the band, but then as I'm conducting, I could influence that and I could really like make it come alive like while I'm conducting. It was really cool. Yeah, it was awesome.
I have a kind of like small, kind of like not that important about it. What was the feeling of like when you first got up there? Because kind of
Yeah.
like was that you've been marching a lot. When you first get up, like stand on the big podium for the first time and you view it down, you just obviously the view and the perspective is a lot different. You're just kind of like, huh. Hopefully you weren't like afraid of heights and that didn't like throw you off or anything like that.
Yeah, like I'm tall, but I wasn't that afraid of heights. Like, but like I was really more nervous than anything. Just to like I didn't really want to mess up. That was my main fear of
Yeah,
like during the entire thing.
because I mean the band
Yeah.
runs through you.
Hmm.
You're the guy that provides all the tempo. You're the guy that and like if you mess up, the band's either got to go with you or you take the blame for that one. And,
Yeah.
I saw even years past, years forward, I've seen people that there's times where the drum majors mess up, and that's what sucks is they have to take the fall, and I can understand where that nervousness comes from. I
Hmm.
stepped up on the podium one time just to kind of see how it felt, and like even I was like, wow. Like it
Yeah.
even felt nervous just standing up there because you're like you see everything, and it's probably insane. Like I can feel that nervousness. I was even nervous being a marcher. I couldn't
Hmm.
understand how to have the band run through you and having to have that responsibility, even though that's what I wanted for 3 years. And then I
Yeah.
decided no.
For sure. I'll kind of wrap up unless Zach also has one more kind of question about it.
Yeah, I
This
do.
is kind of like almost kind of like in a okay. So I'll ask my final one then. What advice would you give to any future drum major or any kind of conductor that would be not even just like coming up through like Seminole High, but like any like band program, any band school? What is one advice you would give to them to almost kind of make it seem less either like more of kind of like almost kind of like a fear thing?
I mean, just you just got to be yourself. Like I know like the whole like audition process is really intimidating, like really rigorous. But you just got to be yourself, and you just gotta give it your all, and then what happens like when that decision comes out,
Yeah,
you just gotta accept it. And
exactly.
yeah,
I
but
mean, and I think that's why Madrenin does his audition process like that is to it's meant to scare you when they do that audition process. Like it's meant to scare
mhm,
you. They're putting you not only in front of the leadership, the officers from that year. They're putting you up in front of every single member of the staff. Madrenin in the band room by yourself. He's also making you conduct the wind ensemble by yourself.
yeah.
While he's standing there just watching you. And I mean, I think he does that too. He's gonna see who can handle it. And I think that's why his process is so rigorous. And intimidating is so that he can see, can he handle being up on that podium? Can he handle if he screws up? Can he handle it? And it shows that you were able to handle it.
Hmm. Yeah.
It also doesn't help that you were 6'5" at the time.
At
So
the
Yeah.
time, I thought he still was 6'5".
I got
Are we
a
lying?
I got a funny question for you that I think it kind of wraps up this kind of like band portion. We might end up
Okay.
coming back to this section in a little bit. Um, Even during the COVID year, where you had two bands, you didn't really get to experience the full show. You had to experience two. What was it like having to sit in the back podium and just have to run the Met the entire practice? How boring did that get? Was it really boring? Did you find ways to kind of like entertain yourself while you're just having to sit there, or what did you really do?
To
I
quickly
mean,
clarify for sorry, to quickly clarify for people that are also not a band, a met is short for metronome. It's the thing that keeps tempo and time for anything music related, whether for its horns, winds, drums. It basically just keeps time so people can
Yeah,
learn how to play without like
yeah.
the hearing, so you can stay on tempo.
And it's basically just a big loudspeaker that has a beep going through it at a certain tempo. And what we mean by Johnny sitting in the back is playing with it. He literally would just press a button. That's what we're trying to say is like, how boring would that get? Did it
well,
get
so
boring?
it actually wasn't boring because I had to stay extremely focused and I had to remember exactly like how many counts each of like the segments was, so then I didn't go over. Or okay, yeah. What I mean is like I didn't have the metronome running for too long or too short. Yeah, yeah. So I had to be constantly counting like what the set was. Um, yeah, yeah. So I didn't mess it up, and then the staff would get mad at me if I messed it up.
So when you were up there, would you ever just sit there and do, excuse me, score study or anything? Like, so if we had a really long field where the instructors are kind of helping us while we're waiting for the next segment, would you sit there and do score study or anything like that, or would you just have to sit there?
Yeah, like I had a cheat sheet of like okay, of the entire show, written out of like so like these are how many bars of 4/4 I've got, and then like each every single time change, written down like on a big piece of paper. So I would have to memorize that for the entire show. Yeah, yeah. So I'd be looking at that.
Was it hard to keep tempo while you were up on the podium? Like even just regular conducting, like was it hard to like, crap, I got to keep this same tempo for this long, or like were you able to, feel the tempo changes, or like, how hard was it to, keep that same tempo repeatedly,
Yeah,
without getting off time or tearing?
yeah. So for every show like there's an MP3 that's like made like for the music. So I would be constantly listening to that, and I would memorize like how the show went, and I would just hear it by ear, and I would just remember well like how like sorry yeah I would just remember the tempos, and it's just how I was able to do it. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I understand that. Um, so we're gonna transition away from, marching band right now. We'll get back to it in a little bit. All right, Johnny, I gotta ask. Let's get back into more of the Disney topic. What if you could bring back one ride from the Disney graveyard? What would it be and why?
Yeah, so I would bring back the Great Movie Ride from Disney's MGM Studios.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah. So this ride when it was still open, it was really really cool. Yeah, you go into like the facade of the building. It's the Chinese theater from Hollywood, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the whole ride, you go on this huge like dark ride where like you go through like a bunch of different famous movie scenes. Like for example, like you go through like the Wizard of Oz. Like there's this whole scene where like the Yellow Brick Road is there, and like the Wicked Witch of the West was like the most advanced animatronic at the time. It was really really cool. There was like the singing in the rain scene. Um, yeah, and then like you would have a tour guide, like a cast member tour guide, with you in your vehicle, right? And so then you would go through like a gangster scene. So then like another cast member actor would come over and hijack your vehicle. Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, it was really really fun. Yeah, I didn't personally get to experience it because I was too young at the time. But it was really really cool, and I wish it would come back.
Yeah, I remember getting to
Yeah,
ride that when I was a lot younger, and now they replaced it with what Mickey and Minnie's like train ride, whatever it
yeah.
is right now.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Runaway
Yeah,
Railway. That's what
It's
it is.
nowhere as good. It's like I understand like Mickey Mouse needs to have his own attraction, but it's not. I don't think it's good enough. Like they could have just done the Great Mickey ride and just done the highlights of his of like everything Mickey. Like
yeah,
there's such a missed opportunity.
and I
I
think
would have even. Oh, sorry, go.
doesn't doesn't Universal have something like that? They have a ride close to that, right?
Yeah, you could do over in Universal Hollywood they have the studio tour.
No, there's a movie where it's like the Great Movie Escape or something like that, where it's a ride
Yeah, yeah,
close.
they have some escape rooms over at Universal City Walk.
Maybe that's what
Yeah,
I'm
where
thinking
you
of.
yeah you can do an escape room of Back to the Future or Jurassic World.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mm.
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna unless you have another Disney one, Zach, do you have another Disney one? If not, I'm gonna kind of break. I'm gonna change topics a bit.
No, I don't really have any more Disney ones right now.
All right. I'm gonna kind of switch gears. I'm gonna ask kind of an obvious question that's kind of going on in the background right there, Johnny.
Mhm.
What do you got behind you? Because you got a lot of it behind you, and I think people were kind of
Yeah.
like wondering what you got behind you. So please tell us about what you got behind you a bit.
Yeah, so back here, it's quite the collection of Ray's memorabilia and specifically bobbleheads. Is the main thing that's here, right? Here are a couple of my favorites. Yeah. So this is the Evan Longoria Rookie of the Year thing. You move
Ooh,
his little body around, like you can like hit the ball. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
nice.
it's limited edition there.
Limited edition.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
And then another really cool thing I have is I have field dirt from the 2020 World Series. This is specifically Game Four, where the Brett Phillips airplane thing came from. Yeah, that was an epic game. It was really really cool to watch it on TV. Yeah, baseball is
Yeah.
fun.
It
Yeah.
Very,
is.
very, very exciting game, and I should know I was on the losing end of that game, but that was
Hmm.
definitely for
Yeah.
sure a definite fun game for sure, and I could 100% attest to that
Yeah.
100%.
It was a valiant effort by both sides.
Yeah, I
Indeed.
mean, it's incredible. Like I've gotten to see that bobblehead collection in person, and just seeing all the ones that you have, it's incredible. And
Hmm.
it's got to be one of the best Rays, memorabilia or even bobblehead collection I've ever seen. Probably
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
probably between a lot of Rays fans, it's probably one of the best ever. I
Yeah,
think
and if any of you guys in the comments have any better any cool bobbleheads, just feel free to post them.
This be
and
any bobblehead guys.
yeah,
We
it
Hmm.
doesn't got to be baseball, doesn't got to be football, um, doesn't got to be Rays, doesn't got to be
Yeah.
any of the teams we like. If it's even if I mean maybe an Astros one, I don't know. We'll kind of think about that one,
Nah.
decide if that's cool. Well, hold on. We're
we're
supposed
we're
to accept
we're we're
everybody.
we're we're already hating. We already hated on Texas. Well, this guy down here already hated on Texas fans last episode, so we're
What
gonna.
do you mean?
What do you mean you called out the Texans and CJ Stroud for having a playoff loss to Bryce Young's zero? Get out of here. We love all sports fans here. You guys are all accepted no matter what the other guy says.
Except for the Chiefs. I'm kidding.
Oh my
But
gosh.
we do love every sports team. We're gonna support every sports team,
I,
even Patrick Mahomes.
yeah. Okay, getting a bit off topic. Okay, I'm gonna kind of bring it back real quick, and I'll leave it to you if you want to ask another one, kind of supporting like going back on like the Rays and everything like that. What was your probably like best or favorite memory growing up and watching the Rays? Was it like a game you attended? Was it like a certain like memorabilia you got? What was your probably like favorite or like proudest moment or memory growing up watching them?
It's got to be game 162. Like where Evan Longoria save the team's hopes of going to the playoffs, and
Were
it was just epic moment.
Were you fortunate to see that game live, or were you just able to watch it like on TV and still feel like the excitement and everything like that?
I was able to watch it on the TV. Yeah,
That's
yeah. I wasn't actually there, but it was really awesome moment.
still 100% a great moment. I think a lot of Rays fans would agree to that
Mm-hmm.
because I think that was just a good, almost like iconic moment for a lot of baseball too. Because game 162 for a lot of teams usually is always just like we'll get them next year. It's like, oh, or this doesn't matter. We're gonna be playing in 3 days anyway for a playoff. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely have like some good exciting stuff with your season on the line. That's always some cool and
Mm-hmm.
exciting stuff for sure.
Especially coming
Yeah.
down to the end where Longoria. I mean, in it, any other stadium that's not really a home run, and he line drived it. I mean, and it
Yeah.
was out of here quickly. Um. Oh, I think I'm gonna transition a little bit out of the Rays real quick.
Okay.
You know, Johnny, we got to go on a couple trips during our time in the Warhawk marching band. We got to go to Tennessee and we got to go to Virginia. And we got to go to, Orlando and stuff like that for other trips. What was your favorite trip that we went on slash memory from one of those trips? You know,
Hmm.
some of the people that are watching this are going to understand where we're coming from those trips, and obviously if you don't know, we went to both when we were in the program, we both went to Virginia and Tennessee, and we also went to like Orlando and stuff like that outside of. We've gone to Daytona and stuff like that. What was your favorite trip that we went on?
I mean, probably so. Yeah, like every other year, our band goes on an out of state trip, right? So like it just happens that in our freshman year, we went to Tennessee. Yeah. We went to Chattanooga, Tennessee for the U.S. Bands championship there, and at the time, our band had been on a massive losing streak of just like we would never make finals, really bad. But then we just had a really good show that year, and we just destroyed the competition at the U.S. bands competition.
High
It,
school
it
in
was
Seminole
it
history.
was yeah, it was the highest score in our school's history. It was awesome. Yeah, finally getting to win.
It was insane. Like I remember, like even being a freshman, I couldn't like Austin. I know you didn't get to go on this trip, so I kind of feel bad.
Yeah.
Um, but even being a freshman, getting to I didn't understand the magnitude of how insane that was that we did that. The fact that we went and just demolished
Yeah.
everyone, bands twice our size. It was insane, And then even when we were in finals, I'm like, yep, here comes our name, seventh place once again. And then it just kept
Hmm.
on going and going. And then we got to second. I'm like, are we gonna win this thing? I'm like, there's no way. And then I hear them announce in second place with a score of 93 point something, Munford High School. And I'm like,
Oh
no
my God,
way.
we did it!
I'm like, no way. And then they said Seminole High School with a 96.9 something, and I'm like, I'm just, I remember hearing that. I'm like, there's no way we were that clean.
Yeah, and then like the stands erupt with just cheers
Yeah,
from our area. Oh my gosh,
insane.
insane.
I will remember that trip mainly because of the fact, in what Austin, you can say that you would want to go on this trip all you want. The worst part about that entire trip, so we performed prelims at 10 in the morning. So it was peak, kind of like about high noon. Literally, it was horrible. We had to take our Shakos off in the middle of the show. Blaring sun coming right down on us right before
Hmm.
high noon, about 10 a.m. So we got done with that performance. Horrible. One of the worst performances I've had just in general of like, heat and freshman Zach couldn't keep his feet in time, whatever. Um and then we got the announcement of finals at like 2. We didn't perform till 10:15 that night
Yep.
and we couldn't leave cuz we were blocked in. We had to sit in the little part of our truck area for 8.5 hours. It was
Yeah.
horrible. I remember there was one point where me, you, and a couple other people were playing Uno on the bottom part of the truck. We were on the inside of the truck of the semi playing Uno with a phone flashlight, keeping us lit up. It was horrible. We went and took a nap in the bus for like what 2.5 hours. That was about it.
Probably.
And then they'd be like, "Nope, we got to go back out." And I'm like, "Come on!"
Hey, y'all are just sounding like some fun times. Y'all are making me really wish I went to this trip now.
That was horrible. It was horrible. We played Uno for about 2 hours, and then that was about it. And then I went and asked one of the band parents. I'm like, "Hey, how long till we perform?" And they're like, "Yeah, you still got about 3 hours till we even have to go to warm up." And I'm like, ah. it
Yeah.
it was like I was hearing other bands warm up and stuff, and I'm like, uh-huh. How long until we go on? Finally, Finally, they were like, "All right, everyone, get in a uniform." And I'm like, "Thank God!"
the
Sweet
happiest
relief.
the happiest anybody's been when someone says get in uniform.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was like we've had the times like when we went to Orlando in 2018 for Sword of the Stone Year where we had to it was like 4 hours that we had to sit on the bus waiting for that announcement for finals. And then we were
Yeah.
one of the first finalist bands that went on and performed. And then this time, you even remember, it was probably horrible sitting on that bus for 4 hours waiting to get ready to go. It's sitting on that bus gets bad after a while. And I don't have some fond memories of those buses, especially in BOA Orlando.
I can actually attest to those ones because I've had the joy of actually experiencing VOA Orlando. Yeah,
Mm,
those bus trips and bus
yeah.
situations were not nice to us. We'll go with that.
Even the
That's the
bus,
nice way of
even
putting it.
I mean, the bus rides to Virginia were pretty fun, except for the
Yeah,
one back. The ride on the way back was horrible.
I never got, or at least, or the bus I was on, because the Virginia one we had to take like 4 or 5 different buses. The bus I was on, I think, was actually pretty. I
I
thought was
mean,
pretty like decent. I don't know what
everyone can
happened to
always
the one
say
you guys
bus
were on.
one was where it was at. Nah, bus two was where all the stuff went down.
Was
That
it
was
Yeah.
where it
okay?
was
Bus
fun.
two.
Kind of going
Bus
off. Which one was
two.
the one that like broke down like 10, like almost like an hour into the drive? There
That
was
was
that
bus
bus
one.
two.
Bus
That was
one
bus
broke down
one. That was bus
because I
one.
remember it was bus one and bus three went on because I remember it was me, Alex, and a couple other people. I think it was me, Alex, Lauren, and Angie that were up. Danny was passed out. Johnny was completely passed out. And I look at Alex, and Alex is like, "Yeah, so you'll meet Alex a little later. He's gonna be another one of our guests."
Mm.
And Alex is like, "Yeah, bus one broke down." I'm like, "Huh? No, 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 no! I remember what it was. It was like 5 a.m. Bus one and three went off on another route,
They went on another route, and
and
they
then
had
bus
bus
two and
two and
four.
four. Had to go to them to catch up with them. So we had to go off the
I'm just
route to
remembering this now.
basically
Yeah.
just to be like, it's like, all right, everybody go out and use the bathroom. Everyone's like, asleep like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. It's like,
Yeah,
go
and
use
then
the
we got
bathroom.
to the bus, and then we got to the stop, and that's when bus one popped a tire, pulling out, and we had to sit there. And I'm like, what are we like? Why are we sitting here for so long? And then they're like, "Oh, bus one popped the tire," and I'm like, "Of course."
Yeah, of course it did. Yeah.
I'm like, of
And
course it was bus one
for,
too.
for people and for a lot of people that have or have not been on the charter bus, it's for being that late. Like the common things are okay. Well, you're gonna be there for a while. Just go back to sleep. No, when the charter bus is stopped, the lights are on, so
Yeah,
you cannot get any sleep or quiet because once lights are on, everybody just starts like screaming and talking.
yeah.
So there is no peace and quiet when the lights are on. So when you have to wait additional like 30 minutes to an hour just for that to happen, you're
Especially
already yeah
them
you're
being
already awake.
on,
Yeah.
and plus, like, it's a lot easier when you're falling asleep. Like, when you're asleep, it's a lot easier to stay asleep. It was also starting to get daylight outside, so that's even harder to fall asleep.
Hmm.
With the lights being, it was like 7, 8 a.m. So it was kind of like starting to get daylight, and it was like just, I was like, come on, why are we stopped? And they're like, oh, bus one popped the tire, and I'm like, of course it did. I mean, and then I will say, you saying having trouble falling asleep, not unless you're Danny.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of us know what happened, and when Danny's on this podcast, we'll explain what happened. But I mean, it's a giant inside joke between all of the entirety of our friend group, and even some people in the band know about this. It's just,
Yeah.
it's so funny what happened.
Yeah. Part two
Actually,
for later.
yeah, that story is. Danny's got to be here for that story because it's just incredible when
Yeah.
we tell it.
Hmm.
It got funny enough to the point where we had to recreate it twice. And we're gonna recreate it again on a flight to Pasadena.
You gotta.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I can test to it. Bus rides definitely can be fun, and they can also be very, boring,
Yeah.
especially when
Yeah.
you're not like on a bus with all the everybody you know. Like, luckily we got on a bus and we got around everybody we knew, and we got. I mean, obviously Austin wasn't with us because the boys that hit things are in another bus. Um,
Concussion.
You could say drum boys or
Yeah.
percussion.
Yeah.
Hit hit
Concussionist.
hit
concussion is.
that's a lot better than just oh hit things. So that just seems like I'm a violent guy. I'm not a violent guy. I really am not.
I don't
Just
know.
don't
Show Austin has something else
just
to say.
just don't look at any face I make when we perform, and you'll think I'm just
I
a
was gonna
nice
say,
guy.
Austin
Yeah.
during the
Yeah. Yeah.
show kind of
Yeah.
says something different during that point. No, but yeah, the guys that were in percussion were in a different bus. But I mean, we were around everybody, and it was just that kind of makes it fun, except for when Alex falls asleep halfway through, and then I get funny photos of him.
Those are always the best.
Yeah.
I do while we're kind of on the topic of back onto like the band thing, and I do want to start looking at and reading some of the questions in our comment section ad from the
Ooh.
previous video. One of the questions I thought was very interesting was talking about our band director Major Drennan. A little current news. He won the Pinellas County Teacher of the Year award, which is a
Mhm.
very prestigious and high honor. And so one of our comments asked, as a former marching band member, it takes to build a great appreciation to build a great like band and everything like that. What comments or if there anything that Mr. Madrenin has influenced you not only as a drum major but as a marcher, as a musician? What is something that he has done to influence you to be kind of like the performer that you were and you might still be?
And I'll add something onto that question because I mean, even a lot of people always ask this question, about Madrid, and not even just as a musician and a performer, as a person in general. How did he kind of like, even yourself now, like obviously you're not in music now as much. How did he influence you as a person, just in general, like in your daily life, along with while being a performer?
Yeah, I mean, it's like at my time while I was at Seminole, he really helped me grow, like both as a musician, but also as a leader in general. Yeah, yeah. So what, like for example, like um, I don't know, yeah, that's a really good question.
You could thank.
Uh,
Hold on. Let me give a shout out to this
I can
person that we're.
I can give you a shout out because I
yeah.
have him up right here. We can give a shout out
Um,
to Roger Hill 1385 for that lovely question. Thank you for the
yeah.
question and
Thank
thank you
you
for
for the
the
question.
support. Thank you
Yeah.
for the.
Maybe. Uh, last name Hill. Maybe he has relation to Johnny. We don't know. We may never know. But Johnny, that might be your long lost cousin there. But or long lost brother. You never know. But
Yeah.
yeah. What do you think McJernan has influenced you as like a performer and even just a person in general? You say he helped you as a leader and stuff like that. Like, were you ever shy when you came into the program? Like anything like
Oh
that, he kind
yeah.
of unlocked that kind of potential in you. Like obviously you became a drum major, and being a drum major is very like vocal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like when I came into the band program my freshman year, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was all like I was all like insecure and everything. But like he really helped me come out of my shell. Yeah, yeah, and like I use these leadership skills like every day when I'm working at Publix, to interact with like my coworkers and but also like customers and stuff like just to like help them have like the best shopping experience they can.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
that's the best thing about him, and that's why
Yeah.
I'm glad he's finally getting recognized in that point. Like,
Yeah.
For sure,
Really
yes.
deserves it.
like
He busted his ass for
I've
so
had times
long.
where I've had times where I've gotten where I've always loved Madronin as a teacher. He's a great
Mhm.
teacher. I always respect him. I just like you, I was shy when I came into the band program. I knew nobody. I knew literally nobody. And like he kind of helped me, you know, get out of that shyness and just like being a drum major, I was a field commander, having to be very vocal. And that kind of like
Yeah.
him helping me and just giving me these tools. It's not even just during his leadership seminars, but just during even practice or a class, he would just help by giving you those kind of tools that kind of help you become a leader and not just a better person. And
Mhm.
even if I have times where I butted heads with him on certain things, he I owe a lot to that man for helping me just as a person, and I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah, for example, like every day, like when you come to school, his office is always open. It's never locked. Like he's always there for help or like if, even if you just want to sit down and talk with him about like what's on your mind. Like
Every
he's
time
always there for you.
every time you
Yeah.
knock on that door, no matter what he's doing, he'll tell you, "Come on in." Even if
Yeah.
he's in the middle of a meeting, he'll tell you, "Come on in," and I'll just wait. Or if he's in the
hmm
middle of a meeting that he can't let you listen in on, he'll say, "Give me." He'll say like this. You open the door. He'll say, "Give me about 5 minutes." His
Yeah.
his office is always open, and he's obviously the easiest person to talk to.
hmm
You anything you need him to talk to about, he's obviously easy, and he's gonna give it to you straight up about what your answer. He's gonna help you no matter what you need it.
I feel like a lot of that, and kind of like what we brought up, is just the open communication that he has with everybody. Like I've even seen like the cases where he's been seen talking to students that not even in like band programs, not even in like music, and he's been there like talking and like get listening to what they have to say, trying to either come up with an answer or a potential solution. Like he he's always there. He's great conversation listener. He's there for almost anything, and he's gonna basically do whatever it takes. He's not going to be like unfortunately what some teachers are, where they'll say one thing and either not do it or do something else. If he says he's going to do something, he's
Excuse me.
going to end up doing it. He will do it. He's going to do it. It might not be as clean as all the others, but he is going to get answers for you, whether it's the full answer or partial. Like
Yeah.
the
hmm
open conversation and the communication is huge, and I think
I
that's a lot of what a lot of us really appreciate and respect about him.
I think like you look at a lot of these band programs around the country, and I'm sure like they may be better than Seminole, and they may be better marchers, they may be better players. They may make Bands of America finals every year, but I can guarantee you a lot of those programs don't have a director like Gerard Madrid. And there's a reason why he was the Pinellas County School Teacher of the Year, and I knew as soon as he was nominated he was winning it because that man deserves it so much. Even if you are not in marching band, he's gonna be able. If you try and go and talk to him, he'll probably help you out.
hmm
There's a 95% chance that he's even just gonna listen to you, even if you're not in band in general. There's a reason why when he taught the college experience, a lot of kids would tell me McJernan's a great teacher. Kids that were
Yeah.
not in band would go and like listen to the college experience, and they would tell me like, "Dang, this guy's a great teacher." So I mean, you know, a few more questions to ask you before we get out of here. We let you go enjoy the rest of your night. I'm pretty sure you got to go to bed. But um, I gotta ask you this question. We've been talking about how you're 6'5", all this stuff the entire time. How's the weather up there?
That's really funny. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. Yes, because I am above the average height for a guy. Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
hope.
yeah. Yeah. It's pretty nice to be tall. Yeah. I mean, guys, sometimes I do have to duck down to get to some certain areas, but it's generally it's good. Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad. All right,
How is
I
the
got a.
actual weather up there though? Is it? Do
Yeah,
you feel
It's
a
the
change?
same.
Oh,
it's the same. Oh damn. Oh, that sucks. All right, I got a kind of simple but kind of interesting one that I think you might enjoy, Johnny.
Yeah.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Hmm. Okay. Well, okay. So all right. So how I define a sandwich is so it has two pieces of bread, one on the
Okay.
bottom and then stuff in the middle, and then the one on the top.
okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's a sandwich.
Okay.
A hot dog bun is one piece. It's not a
Okay.
sandwich.
So with your logic that if I rip the hot dog bun into two, it's the same. It's still a hot dog bun, just not attached. Is that would be a sandwich then?
I guess so.
But at that point, it's a hot dog sandwich. We're talking about like a literal hot dog bun with a hot dog in the middle with ketchup, man, whatever you put on your hot dog. But literally
I
a hot dog bun with a hot dog in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So then, wait. If the bun rips, then it's a sandwich.
Okay, but
Because
but
yeah,
it's still
because then it would have bread, stuff in the middle, and then bread.
it's well it
bun
still
not
does.
That
ripped.
easy.
Bun
It's
not
still
ripped.
And it's
with
and it's and
with
it's not a sandwich.
with your logic then it's still it's still two things of bread just because they're connected together. You're saying that because they're connected together it declassifies as a sandwich just because bread is touching, even though sandwiches could still.
It's one piece.
So if I glued two pieces of bread together, that's one piece of bread.
No, it not if you glue them. It has
This
to
Okay,
bread
be
well,
is
like
basically
a
this bread
continuous
is
piece of bread.
yeah, this bread is baked into feel looking like that. So the bread is are you're just gluing it by making it like that. This bread is already
No,
come together like
you
that.
don't glue it.
Yeah, like
You bake it.
this bread already comes together like pre together. Like it already
Yes.
comes pre put like that. By you taking
I'm
two
just
pieces and putting
I'm
them together, that's just
I'm just hey, I'm just asking the question. You don't need to get all angry at me. I'm just trying to ask the question for our guest. I just want to hear his take.
so Johnny is a hot
My
dog
bad.
a sandwich.
No,
Okay, so you're
because
on
it
the
is
hot dog
one
is
continuous piece of bread.
so you're on the hot dog is not a sandwich trend.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Austin, continue to ask your next question.
Okay. Another question. Knowing and some people that watch might also like this as well. We also know that Johnny is a very huge Harry Potter fan. Is that correct, Mr. Hill?
That is correct.
All right. So I have a very unique question. Between these two, which world would you rather in this fantasy world would you rather live in? The world of Harry Potter or the world of Star Wars?
Hmm. Probably Harry Potter. Yeah. So I don't really love the idea of my world constantly be at war by an empire that's threatening to
Okay.
kill me at every minute.
Even though
I mean,
you can choose the power you have though. It's your you get to choose your world. You get to choose what you want to be. Like you can
yeah, I guess I could live on like one of like those like peaceful worlds like the Outer Rim where nothing happens.
you can be a droid. Nobody cares if nobody's gonna hurt a droid.
Yeah, yeah, fair. Yeah, but I mean, I think I'd rather live like the Harry Potter universe because like it's all magical and like you fly on, like a
Yeah,
broom and stuff and it's
for
pretty it's
sure.
really it's really pretty
I,
cool.
I I do think there is probably a lot more to do in that universe. I
Yeah.
would say as
Yeah.
well. Definitely, Star Wars world would still have its definitely unique like perks and like unique stuff
Hmm.
to do. But I agree with the Harry Potter one for sure.
Do you got any more to ask him or?
I'm good. I think we can ask the final question, and
All right,
I think
Johnny.
that might be it.
Our final question for the deep drive tonight. If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Johnny one thing, what would it be?
Hmm. I guess it'd be like don't give up. Like you just keep going. It'll be all right. Yeah, yeah.
Hell
That's pretty
yeah.
much it.
Hey, never give up, baby.
Yeah.
It's always a good motto to have. But
Hmm.
we in the D Drive want to personally thank you, Mr. Johnny Hill,
Hmm.
for spending your time and night talking with us and letting the lovely people get to hear about you and learn some cool stuff about you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
on, and
Yeah.
we're happy that you were our first guest. I mean, even as a second episode, we definitely got off topic a little points there, but I think the way that we kind of were talking, it kind of works out,
Mm.
and thank you, Johnny, and I know our questions were a lot at some points, but we want to thank you, and we thank your patience with us tonight at the
Yeah.
deep
Yeah. Thank
dive.
you so much for having me on.
Yeah, we're glad you were our first guest, and obviously maybe in the future we'll bring you back on. Um, but
For
yeah,
sure. We gotta have the sequel, especially when baseball kicks up. We get to hear more about Rays fan
Oh
Johnny a
yeah.
lot more. Definitely
yeah,
be some
and
exciting
I
stuff for
think I
sure.
think we might bring you on for the boys podcast, the boys episode where it's every
Oh,
one of
for
us.
sure. For
Because
sure. We
once
Nice.
gotta.
once
Oh
we
yeah.
bring on Alex and Danny and everybody else, we're gonna bring everybody on for a podcast. We're gonna try and get everybody together. So I think it'd be cool to have
Hope
everybody on.
hopefully everything works out and doesn't get too hectic for you guys.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Sounds like
Johnny,
fun.
thank you for coming on. To everyone, all of our viewers, we did a lot in this episode. I know this episode was a lot. But yeah, championship Sunday this weekend. Go Lions, go Ravens.
We'll do our recaps on the games on our the next podcast. You guys will hear from us. That'll be the recap of the championships, plus a little deep dive into what the games, how the games were, and almost little prediction for Super Bowl
Yeah,
matchup, pretty much.
and our official Super Bowl. We're also going to look at some Pro Bowl rosters. Yeah, the next episode we'll be back to more sports. We'll talk a little bit about some other stuff. But and if you had any questions about what we talked about in this episode, with Johnny, anything that you did not understand or that we did not explain well enough, put it in the comments and we'll kind of go in there and one of us will go in there and explain a little bit more. Or we'll get Johnny to go in there and explain a little bit more.
Yeah. Sure.
Also post some championship and some Super Bowl matchups you guys want to see. We want to hear some of those too. We want to hear what
Yeah,
teams you guys are rooting for as well.
Yeah.
We want to try to get more connected and see what you guys are excited about this sports world as well, for sure.
yeah. So thank you, Johnny, for coming on. Like we said, this is the thank you everyone for tuning in into the deep drive. This is our second ever episode, and we couldn't think of a better episode. All right, thank you all for tuning in. We will see y'all next week.
Take it easy.
Peace.